I'm going to show you how to start using AxisGuide. You click on AxisGuide logo and you're going to start opening AxisGuide. I am going to show you how we can start with a new case coming from the CT scan. You click here to edit a new case and you go to See AxisGuide and you select the case you want to open. We're going to open Caesar. I just click on that and I have this image coming in 2D. I can modify the frame, make it bigger or smaller, and then I click on Mandible. When I am on the mandible, you will see that the screen is going to show you a 3D image. But this 3D image is a volume rendering image. It is not a surface rendering image. To work on a surface rendering image, we need to make what we call a segmentation, and I'm going to explain how to do that. First of all, we start with drawing a panoramic curve. I put one click at the level of the molar, in between lateral and canines, first molar, and a double click at the back. And then, showing that, I see that in the reconstruction of the panoramic reconstruction, we do not see well the nerve, and here we can see it in a good way. When this is done, I validate and I go to draw the nerve. To draw the nerve, I click on plus, I scroll down until I reach the opening of the nerve. One click outside, one click at the opening, I go here inside, here, and I can move until I find the nerve. And I put one click, after one click, after one click, and after one click. It's a little too high, I modify, and this is fine. My nerve is drawn. It's drawn in 2D and it's drawn in 3D. I validate and I go to segment the object. This is what you want to do. So the segmentation is done based on the threshold. By default, the threshold of the bone at the mandible is 500 ounce-fill unit. This means that everything which will be stronger than 500 ounce-fill unit will appear in this 3D. And now what I'm going to show you is how to separate the teeth from the bone. So for this, first of all, you validate the first segmented object, and we are going to segment another one. The other segmented object will be the teeth, and here you see that if I click here, I will see a lot of bone because the cortical bone is very dense in this case. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the threshold. I am going to select a threshold which will be a little bigger. We can go up to, let's say, 1629. And we are going to click on the teeth. I click on the teeth. How I do? I click on Shift. And I'm going to add the teeth one by one or as a group. And now I have all a group of teeth which is there. I make a right click to hide the bone and I see that. What I see here means that I need to reconstruct that in a good way. So I'm going to clean up that. I use the lasso, very simple. I use my lasso here and I'm going to remove all this bone. I'm going to use the lasso here also and I'm going to remove the bone. I'm going to remove with the lasso all over and I remove the dense bone. I remove in between the teeth step by step like this, like this. So in some easy cases it's easy to do, and in some complicated cases you might spend even 1 hour to do that because it might be very difficult to process. So I remove the bone inside, I remove the bone outside, I remove the bone so that I can keep only the roots. And you see this process, the more you do that, the better you do it. Me, I don't do it often, and it takes some time. So what you need to select in a good way is the threshold, and when you have the threshold, then you know how your bone is going to be rebuilt or your teeth are going to be rebuilt. So now let's say as an example that I have been cleaning that enough to show you how to do it. And we have quite a good image of the roots now. So now we have the roots in one image, and we need to have the roots separate from the bone. So to do this, I carry on cleaning a little. To do this, I make the bone appear, right click, and we have now two masks separate, the mask of the bone at 500 ounce fill units and the mask of the teeth at 1629. So now we're going to use a Boolean tool, and this Boolean tool will allow to go from the full mask minus what? We go from the full mask, first of all, minus the teeth, and we calculate. And this will give you the separate mask. So what we're going to do now, we're going to slightly clean again the first mask with the lasso. I want that to be very clean, so I clean up like this. Here, I clean up on the other side, and I have a nice clean image of the bone and of the teeth. So now I can work on that, and you see that I can toggle on and off the teeth with a right click, and I can remove, and I have the empty sockets of the bone. So it's very interesting when you want to make a case with extractions, because you know how much bone you will have after extracting the teeth. If you want to remove and keep only the teeth, then you will know what's the relationship in between the nerve and the teeth. And that's what I had to show you. Be careful, in some cases it's much more difficult to do than this. And you can also toggle the teeth or separate that for one tooth in red, one tooth in blue. And when you do that, you can also select the color of your mask, and you have a full selection of basic colors that you can change to allow you knowing what you do in a good way.